sharing my October bullet journal setup with a moonlit moth theme. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. Today I am setting up my October bullet journal and I decided to go with a moonlit moth theme. So I will be drawing moths and then accenting them with poisonous florals, and some moons as well. I am carrying on my half-year tab situation. So I'll be cutting tabs throughout the video. My cat was desperate for attention throughout this video, so you're going to see a lot of her as well. And I apologize, you will be seeing my head popping in and out of the frame and the focus going in and out a little bit, but I felt you could still kind of see what I was trying to do. So for my October bullet journal setup, I decided to do moths, which can be kind of creepy and in line with Halloween without leaning too much into like the pumpkins and so on. So that was my thought process behind picking moths. I'm also very proud of the setup because I created some paper as well. So I decided to do collage throughout this setup and I created the paper for you to use as well. So this paper is available for a limited time for my email subscribers. So if you want access, make sure to go click on the link down below and go sign up to get access. But in the meantime, I am decorating my cover page using acrylographs. I know a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with these paint pens, but I just find them very convenient to use. So for these leaves, I am using palette paper, which I spoke of in my last video, which I've linked down below as well, and a little bit of water. And so then I activate the paint pen onto the palette paper, add a bit of water, and then you're able to paint with the paint pen like you would ordinary paint. And it gives a really cool textured effect like you can see down here. And I also feel like you don't use as much paint. I know I don't like using my stuff because I don't want it to run out, which isn't reasonable. And so I find this is a good balance between using my stuff and then using my stuff in a smart way so that I can get the most out of the product. I decided I'm using the same technique here, but I didn't get the brightness and boldness that I wanted. So I actually ended up going in and activating on the page, coloring on the page, and then using the paintbrush to spread the paint. I like doing that because sometimes the acrylographs can create bubbles, and if you paint the bubbles out with a paintbrush, it dries perfectly flat and looks really good. So definitely keep that in mind. My color palette for this month was Jewel Tones, looking at a corally reddy pink color, the lighter ballet slipper pink, and then I used two different greens, a forest green and a slightly lighter green. And I decided to do some accents with silver, especially for the moon part of it. For freebies this month, I've included 3 sheets of pattern paper, as well as a sticker sheet of washi strips, and then a sticker sheet of the moths with the florals that you'll see me use later in the setup. So you can head on over From Blank to Brilliant library, enter the password, which all email subscribers have, and you can just go grab those. So this is where you see me coloring directly onto the page and then just using the paintbrush to spread the paint. I do add a little bit of water to the paintbrush to give the acrylograph, the paint, a little bit more fluidity, but it's a fine line because last month I added too much water and I'd bleed through. So I have a paper towel next to me where I dip my paintbrush in the water, I just blot it on the paper towel, and then I'm able to distribute the acrylograph paint. And again, there is my cat supervising. She was very involved in this whole process, so I do apologize. My office space, or the space I use as a creative space, doesn't have a door, So I'm not able to close the door and to get her to leave. And this is where I decided I used blood orange from the retro collection, acrylograph collection from Archer and Olive, and I wanted it to be a bit more bright. So I just also went in to colored in with the paint pen and spread the paint with my paintbrush. I'm using the Pigeon Letters paintbrush in size 2, just so that I'm able to get to all the little nooks and crannies of my illustration and my sketch. So as much as I would like to be a full-on aesthetic bullet journaler, that is not a reality in my life. Between the cats and the kids and just my overall general messiness and clumsiness, this is what you end up with. My tip from my acrylograph came flying out of my pen and ended up on my page. It wasn't a big deal because I am going to go over it with the silver acrylograph, and that's another reason why I love using the acrylographs. Because it's an acrylic paint pen, it's a lot thicker, so you can cover up mistakes. And that's exactly what I did. If this was on a piece or if it was on a part of the page where I wasn't going to paint with the acrylographs, I would have used a white acrylograph to kind of get rid of that mistake. Yeah, I know my Instagram profile looks very clean, and I know my blog posts might look a bit clean, but honestly, you guys, I don't want to say it's far from the truth, but I can be a disaster. For example, I just had a nightmare of a week. And by nightmare of a week, I mean 2 to 3 appointments a day more than I'm used to. Now, I blame COVID for that. COVID made me, I don't want to say lazy, but made me more of a homebody where I don't like scheduling more things. Also having children. So if you have a baby, the thought of doing more than 2 things a day is just not it. And basically, I went from having a baby to COVID. So scheduling more than 1 to 2 things a day is not my jam anymore. And I had a super crazy busy week. So I'm actually recovering from a migraine. This is brought to you by post-migraine recovery. So if I'm a little bit all over the place in my voiceover, I do apologize. It's just been a busy one. And with that said, this is part of the reason why I love bullet journaling. It gives me that excuse, or creative bullet journaling. It gives me that excuse to be creative and think outside the box and just have fun with things. For example, for my surface pattern designs, sometimes I feel like I overthink it. And because I overthink it, I don't get quite the effect that I want. And because I wanted to do collaging and give you all the opportunity to experiment with collaging as well, I created the pattern paper that you'll see shortly. I know I keep talking about it. I'm just so proud of it. I created this paper pattern, and because I was kind of pressed for time, I didn't overthink it. And I actually really loved what came out of it. I have been taking Repertoire, which is a course by Barbell Dresser, I think her last name is, and I'm really loving it. I have taken Immersion by Bonnie Christine, which, holy moly, that course is just chock-a-block full of really cool stuff. And Barbell's course Repertoire is just helping me look at things in a different way. And so I'm having a lot of fun. I'm really fortunate that I get to do these courses. And yeah, I feel like I'm definitely getting a lot out of it. So as always, I'm outlining my illustrations in a darker version of the colors, so a darker red, and I decided to color the body of the moth in with the darker red. I outlined with the darker green, and now I'm outlining with the darker pink. I will be doing a tutorial using gouache paints and showing you how you can mix your colors with your gouache paints. I do have a paint mixing tutorial as well that I'll link down below, and you can check that out. like I said, I'm only using the acrylographs out of convenience, and I really like coloring in the tabs with the acrylographs because the white jelly rolls really pop over top of it. I'm coloring in my moon, and you're going to see how well the acrylographs cover up that mistake. As much as that mistake was bothering me this entire time, I'm actually really happy with how it turned out overall. And I cut it from filming because this video is already so long, but I did go back over the little empty spots that I left. It's hard for me with my lighting to sometimes see if there's any spot I missed. And so I completely stick my head in the frame for an extended period of time to make sure that I got all the white spots. So I definitely cut that out because I don't think you guys needed to see my hair or the back of my head. And there I've covered up the mistake, which, yeah, knowing that I was using a metallic acrylograph, which is especially opaque, it wasn't going to be a problem. So for my florals, I drew a henbane flower. I put dots in it. From far away, it looks like dots. Up close, it's almost like purple veins running through the petals, which is really cool. And then the leaf in the background is poison oak. And that theme I carried on throughout the layout. I also included poison ivy, hemlock, and I think that was it. I definitely drew more images than I used, and that's because I'm hoping to actually create a pattern collection from this. I'm still on the fence for how I want to do it, but I'm hoping to combine it with the mushrooms I drew in my September setup. And yeah, just to go from there, add some more interesting aspects to it. I'm really enjoying the pattern creation, and I've been struggling with how to tie in my bullet journaling with my pattern designs, and then my idea for collage was born. I have done collage before in my August bullet journal setup last year, which I've linked down below as well, and that was with my fruit bowl, which to date is my largest collection I've created. I've linked my Society 6 account down below as well. I'm in the process of setting up my shop. It's taking a little bit longer than I would have liked, but time is my most valuable commodity at this time, and it's taking longer than I wanted. But there is my primary piece that I created with the moths and the poison oak. And here I have some old-timey paper that I've created with some facts about the hellebore plant, I believe, and talking about its poisonous nature. And then I decided to add some black accents with the Otter and Olive dark red notepad. I have the Neapolitan notepad, and so I just grabbed some of the black paper, and I wanted to do an oval. Now, this hand letter dashboard that you see me creating right now, or I guess cover page, sorry. Normally I create these in Procreate, but I thought with the layering and the collage, it would be fun to do it actually in the journal on the paper. So I'm cutting out my oval, which I created with a compass, and just quickly cut it out with my scissors. Full disclosure, I didn't like what I started lettering, so I actually cut a second one, but I cut that out because it was long enough. I'm using a white Posca paint pen. I couldn't find my white acrylograph paint pens. I reorganized my office and I put these white paint pens somewhere, and I have yet to find them. Now, granted, I haven't looked too hard, I will say that. It's just, again, time. But anyways, so I'm creating my hand letter dashboard by the light of the moon. And I'm doing some faux calligraphy with my Posca paint pen. I don't do as much calligraphy practice as I should and used to, but I really do love incorporating calligraphy whenever I can. I find it's just my go-to for a quick and easy hand lettering font. I also wanted to mention for lettering October, I used an Artline stick. Reason being, I just wanted a thicker tip thicker nib for my lettering. Tombow is fine, and you see me create, or you see me do my borders with the Tombow. My Tombows are running dry. I need to go get a new one, and so I just grabbed my outline stick. And there you get your first glimpse of the stickers I've created, and I used the hellebore image to tie it into the cover page on the right hand side of the page. And as always, I'm adding in my page borders. It looks so much more finished to me. I've been doing it from the get-go. I did creative journaling with Michelle Baxter through Planners Gone Wild, and now that's all I can do. So if you want to check out Michelle Baxter, she is at Quirky Heart over on Instagram. I've tagged that down below as well. It's been a few years. I don't think she's offering courses anymore, but she's still very inspirational. So definitely go check that out. Now I'm moving on to my calendar page. We're going to move a little bit faster at this point. I know my cover page took a long time and we're over halfway through the video, but we're going to start moving faster now. I want to bring up a pet peeve of mine. So firstly, I am a Monday start person for my journal. Let me know down below, are you a Monday start or a Sunday start? I feel like this is a very divisive topic at times. So me, it's Monday all the way straight up. That's it for me. But there is a kind of formula that I follow when I do my bullet journal setups, and that is if more than 3 days of a month fall in a week. Now, this is particularly for the end of the month. If more than 3 days of that week, of a new month, falls into a week, I will set up that week in the next month. So, for example, October 30th and 31st is a Monday and a Tuesday. So ordinarily, I would set up a weekly with the Monday and the Tuesday in November. But I can't get my head around setting up or creating a weekly where Halloween, the 31st, falls in the month of November. So that's my pet peeve, is when October, technically based on my formula, my arbitrary formula that I came up with 7 years ago, falls into November. So I just created my weekly with the 31st. So the first week of November is in October. And yeah, that's just how it is. Let me know if you're the same way. If you're a Monday start person specifically, and how you feel about creating a weekly with the 31st as part of November. It's such a first world problem, I know, but it just really gets to me. But anyways, that is one of my planner pet peeves. Maybe I'll do an art journal chat about my planner pet peeves. So for my days of the week headings, I thought it would be fun to color them in. I'm using Shroom, which is an off black from the acrylographs, and then I just hand lettered with the Posca paint pen over top, and I just kind of love that black accent effect. I do end up carrying it throughout my layouts, which obviously you'll see. So this is my hemlock paper. It was really fun to create and goes really well with the moths and the old-timey paper. I'm sorry, I can't think of a better name for it right now. And so, okay, I decided to use the black dot grid paper for my notes page. Now, if you've watched my previous setups, I create a box to capture my to-dos or important things that I need to take out of the notes. And my idea here is to put what I need to take into, or get like to-do list or get done, on the black paper so that it stands out a lot more. I tend to leave my bullet journal on my desk and do all my work at my desk, so I'm going to have a white pen nearby, so this wasn't an issue for me. But even if I did take my notebook out of the house, I would probably just take a jelly roll with me anyways. So having the black paper was just a fun little accent. I do outline my headings, so notes and stuff, with a black pen. I like the rough effect that it gives. You can't really tell on the screen, but up close, it definitely has a bit more of an unfinished look to it, which I really like, especially if you consider the roughness of the borders that I draw, and then it ties into the roughness of the old-timey paper that I created as well. A layout that I haven't shared here is a doodle page. The reason why I didn't share it is because it's just grid lines at this point. And that's because I hope to participate in a doodle challenge for October. Not really Inktober, since there's a lot of controversy around Inktober and it's just not interested in that. So there are a couple of other creators. Peggy Dean from the Pigeon Letters, she has a doodle challenge this month or for October, which I think I will be participating in. And then for my email subscribers, I also have prompts for you as well to help light the fire of creativity, if you will, and just, get the creative juices flowing so that you have a library to choose from when you need that little extra boost of creativity. Now, for my headings here, I am using a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. I haven't used this guy in forever, and it was so much fun to use again. And for the dates for the week, I did a little black circle, and I will be writing the dates of the week with a white Jelly Roll pen. And again, the outline stick to do the heading for October. Overall, I am super happy with this layout. I ended up doing a paper collage, just like you see me doing now, for every weekly that I created. I'm sharing that over on Instagram, so you can go check that out. I also have the images on the blog if you are impatient and want to see all of it all together. Paper collage is definitely something that comes with time and practice, and that was my idea for giving you this paper. It's going to be, once you download it, you're going to be able to use it as much as you want and to practice and kind of get a feel for creating your collage pieces. I will be doing a tutorial later this month in October as well that you can check out. So if you want to learn more about paper collage, make sure to subscribe to my channel and you will get the notification for that when that video drops. I'm using an Archer and Olive journaling stencil, which hopefully they'll be restocking soon, so definitely stay posted on that. But here is the full flip through of my entire October setup. I am so happy. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out down below, over on social media, on the blog, or through email. I would love to help answer any questions that you may have. So happy October, happy new bullet journal setup, and I will see you in the next one. For more video inspiration, you can check out these videos as well.